Yeah, but his is broke down into 3 different things. See, the first one's police parking lot and middle and stuff. Then the other one's to do the impound lot and then the cemetery drive. They're all,
It's cheaper than all these.
yes.
I talked to Roy.
All right, it's 8 o'clock. I'd like to call the Brimfield Township Regular Board of Trustees meeting to order. Roll call for attendance, please.
Also in attendance, Mike? Yes.
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
We have a full board.
Please rise for pledge of allegiance.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for so many blessings you bestow upon us every day, things that we often take for granted. Thank you, Lord, that we haven't got hit by the hard flood waters of so many. We thank you for the dry weather to let the road crew get their work done. The rain to get our garbage going again, Lord. We pray, Lord, today that you help us to see these forces more than just easy targets for our problems and everything, but Lord, see them for the people they are, husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, and Lord, just help us to respect them the way they respect us. And we ask now, Lord, you just have your hand of blessing on this meeting. Give wisdom where it's needed. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Announcements and correspondences. Are there any announcements or correspondences from the board members today? Hearing none. Department heads, any announcements or correspondences? All right. We have no scheduled meeting guests today. We do have meeting minutes to review.
Hearing 8:10, a regular meeting on 8:10, and then a bid opening on 8:17 for the Cascades.
So we'll need a motion to accept the public hearing and the regular meeting of 8:10.
Make that motion.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? Roll call for acceptance.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I'll entertain a motion for the 8/17/2022 bid opening.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Abstain.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. Move on to the meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept the meeting agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, for discussion, is there anything that we need to add, amend, or change on the agenda?
Under parks, we need to park director's contract, or what do you want to call it, Jim?
Yep. So G. Park director, G under parks.
Under admin, do we want to discuss the library now that we've taken possession of the property and moving forward? So admin 2B is in boy. Admin 2B boy, library.
Okay.
And then do we also, John, this is just a question for you. I saw your email last night for the update to policy 8.4. It was different than our motion from the other meeting. Do we need to accept that policy?
Well, see, I guess that's what Mike brought that question up to me today. We had two conflicting, we had an employee handbook and then we had a resolution that was passed.
Right.
So my understanding from the last meeting is that I was to update the employee handbook 8.4 section to the new.
To what we passed in the resolution, but
Yes.
the language from the resolution is not what's in the policy now.
Did you change that? I had Roy put it in for me yesterday. Did we
You
top right off of that?
Yeah, I just,
It sounds like it was the newest language that Mike had brought to us after the resolution.
Okay.
Because one required authorization, this one doesn't require, which is fine, but if it's going to be different than what's in the
No,
resolution, do we need to approve it?
It needs to be.
yeah, I
the
just
one
put that out yesterday, late yesterday afternoon after my meeting with you.
Why don't we pass what it is today, and then Roy, how hard is it for you to update that? Just go back and change it again? Sure.
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
if we do what's in the book, that's in the resolution book, then there would be, nothing needs done. Like, we wouldn't have to, then I would assume we need to vote on it because it's not what the resolution, it's not what the policy originally was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I can't remember what that. Can you pull that up, Roy, on your computer at all?
Unfortunately, the internet's down, so I can't pull it up. I don't know
we're
if
down?
Yeah, we're running off a hotspot for streaming right
Can
now.
we table that just for a little bit here? And before the end of the meeting, why don't we just put it on under fiscal office on the agenda? Before then, I'll have the girls pull up exactly what it said.
Okay. So fiscal office is gonna be 2A,
Drive.
township vehicle 8.4.
Yeah, we thought we had that all fixed up there, because that was what it was from the last meeting, is that we had already approved it, and then we we're just gonna change the employee handbook, but since we have, if it's a different thing.
It's different language
we'll
from
make
what was
sure
in the
That's
resolution.
correct. Yeah, we'll talk about it then, but I can pull it out of the book. We have it right here.
Okay. All right, any other department heads, do you have any changes to the agenda?
No.
All right. Hearing none, then roll call to accept the amended agenda with administration 2B as in boy library, parks and rec 2G as in George Park Director, and fiscal 2A township vehicle 8.4 policy.
Have a motion?
We already had the motion, it's just a roll call vote.
Oh, who made, I'm sorry, I missed it then. Who made that? Did you make that, Nick?
Mike made the motion, Sue seconded.
Yes.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Purchase orders. I entertain a motion for the purchase orders.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
I'm gonna abstain.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right. I'll entertain a motion for the warrants.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Abstain.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. Now we will open up to public comments. We please ask that you state your name and address before addressing the board and limit comments to 5 minutes. Floor is open.
First time I've been here, Jim Keefe, we're about to original. Brimfield Township. Just curious on, are we, first time at this meeting in regards to the protocol, how it will go down through the zoning, the scheduling of the public hearing. They had mentioned that that's going to be scheduled today.
Yeah, so once we get into the business section, the department heads give us report, and then we might approve times for public hearings or any requests that we get from the board members. Now we open it up to, so we have public comments before the meeting, and then at the close of the meeting. We typically don't allow public comments during the course of the business section.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Sorry, thank you.
Zoning's doing, or you want to address the board, now's the time to do that for the public comment.
For future reference, that's a good pearl of wisdom.
Okay,
I'll just wait till you guys go over to at the end if I have questions on it.
okay, perfect, no problem. Anybody else? Nothing today? All right. And we'll move into safety concerns. Are there any safety concerns the board needs to be aware of? No. All right, hearing none, we'll move into police department. Roy, floor is yours.
Yeah, Nick, thank you. Just a couple items for you this morning. I know we have been discussing the asphalt replacement project. I know you've had conversation with Dave. Dave's kind of helping facilitate this since we've got multiple pieces that are being looked at. Dave mentioned to me this morning, we've got the third quote that came in from Cardinal. Dave, is that the third quote that came in? I have not had a chance to take a look at that yet. The two quotes that I have are from Sable and from S&K. And as I'm looking at it just from the police department part of that, from the asphalt projects, it looks like S&K is a significantly lower cost than Sable. Feedback from the board, it sounds to me like we want to wait a bit until we get some feedback on what the cost will be for some other pieces. Does that sound about where we're at with that?
My understanding is that there's a meeting after this with Dave, with S&K for the other places that haven't put in, he didn't get a chance to get out
Sure.
and meet with them yet. So
Okay.
since they were coming in the cheapest, we want to make sure they put all of the bids out for everything. And then if all that works out, we'll talk. And then if we want to proceed, then we can schedule an early meeting or that special meeting to do
Sure.
it. And then we can proceed from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
And the idea is because of mobilization costs, we can save money if they're already in the township instead of paying them to come out twice.
Makes sense. Okay. That's just an update on that piece. I know we've had some ongoing discussions on that. As I discussed in the last meeting, currently reviewing candidates and backgrounds for the hiring of that vacancy. That's still an ongoing process. When I have some more information or a candidate for that, I'll bring that to the board for your consideration. But that's an ongoing process. Just a couple of items from their new business or just a couple of community events coming up next Tuesday, August 30th. We're going to be at Brimfield Elementary School. They're having a welcome back event that's Principal Hawley put out to the community. They'll have various groups and organizations, some food and things going on in the front lawn of Brimfield Elementary. So we're going to be there for that event. And also the following day is going to be the first day of school on Wednesday. And we'll have officers visible at the drop-off locations at the schools for our first day back. So, and that's all I have for you this morning, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for police? All right, thank you, Roy.
Thank you.
We'll move into fire department.
Okay, really what's going on with us over the past 2 weeks is the station build. You see the brick continuing along the front of the building, the roof over top of the new bay area. If you go around back, you'll see the admin conference room change orders. I got a phone call yesterday. I was waiting on an update. The update didn't tell me much. It said that they went over change orders, but I don't know what they settled on yet. So I'll keep you informed on where we're at with that. I did make them aware that USDA is waiting on their recommendations because it needs to go to them and then back to us. So they are aware of the process of what needs to happen. So we're still sitting and waiting on them. Only other thing we have is we're preparing on September 1st to move over to Kansas City dispatch. We anticipate everything going smooth. We put up audio and visual cues throughout the station, which will then go into our new station as trials. So they're in right now and working. So that's going to be nice for us. Other than that, running calls and everything's not broken right now. So we're good.
What's been the feedback on bricks? People like it so far?
So far, so good. Like I said, we just got up the visual cues. So, before the tones will go off, we'll get a blue light for EMS, red for fire. So that helps kind of prompt some things, but we haven't got into the new, what I call Alexa voice. So as they're typing, it'll voice out. So we're not sure on that, but Kent is about 6 months ahead of us.
Okay.
And we're getting feedback from them all the time on what they like and dislike on the same system. So
Any noise or news on the windows? I understand they're having a hard time getting windows.
no, have heard nothing on that.
Hey, and when you do, I appreciate you putting the 2022 EMS fire calls, but would you mind just putting last year so I can
Okay,
watch them?
I do those about every couple months.
Okay, that's good.
So unless you want them every meeting.
Yeah, it's just sort of a night, whatever. I mean, I noticed, the police went down. That's unusual.
We're on real close to this time last year.
Yeah.
We're almost right on same level right now.
I'll put them on every meeting.
Yeah,
Then you can have them.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Greg.
Hey Greg, this is just because I get confused when I look at it. Are the bays, the old bays gonna look similar to the new bays, or are they gonna be shorter?
No, they will be shorter, but then the roof line across will be built the same, but they will be shorter.
Okay, all right.
I think actually you get the shorter bays and then a window gap in between to even out.
Oh, so it's gonna be flat across from the top of the bays?
Yes.
Okay.
The visual will be the same, but no, the bays will not be bigger.
That's pretty.
You got electric in there and all that, I saw the lights on inside there the other night.
No, they're running that off generator.
Oh, they left them on the other night. Drove by like 10 and the lights were on in there. I'm like, oh, look, they got electric in there.
Have they moved any closer with a decision by that gazebo for that wall?
Nothing on that.
Now that it's back up, I would take a look at it, because when I saw it on Sunday, it said it was like January something.
There was an issue that she was working with Brian because there was a problem with her connection to the sign.
Okay.
So Brian was still working on it yesterday.
Okay, I just didn't know if anybody knew that it was.
Yeah, they did, but her program somehow was having to come over to the station where her old computer was,
Okay,
and there were some issues with that, so Brian was working with that.
okay. Oh, Brian says it's fixed, so.
Oh, okay.
Good work. Thank you, Brian. All right, anything else for fire department? All right, hearing none, we'll move into administration. Who wants to talk about this quote from Window Genie?
Oh, that's me. What we did, because we were looking for the options for the fire lights, or for the Christmas lights, we went out and got a proposal from Window Genie. They came out and met with myself, Cassie, Dave, and Darlene and Chrissy from the Kelso House. So we looked around with them hanging lights on all of the buildings, so they're gonna actually hang the lights on the Kelso House. That's what that proposal was for, the Kelso House, the barn, the outhouse, the arch, the corn crib, and then, whatever that other building is next. Oh, Saks House. So that's their proposal, to hang lights on all of them. Come out, put them up, come out, take them down. Anything goes on in the middle where we lose lights, they come out and fix them during the process. What we felt from that point is that we have an inventory of yard items, as Cassie can jump in as well. We're gonna do all the yard items. But that is, well, that process is gonna be done for the yard items. But this is for hanging on the lights on the building. Last year, we spent almost $17,000 with lights and decorations, but we did buy some things. A lot of those we'll reuse again. Year before, we just spent $8,800. So from a perspective of the Christmas light company that we're using there, that's a very fair offer.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that, so we have some discussion with, hiring Window Genie to, take care of our lighting for, some, not to exceed, what do you want me to say, $4,400?
How many lighting? Okay. Sue, you second?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, personally, I think it's a great deal. I like how they're gonna have red and different colors on the outhouse, but it's not an outhouse, it's Santa's workshop.
Same
So-
as the barn.
So, I have time to be up on ladders and stuff. We don't have time, and it's a safety issue. I'm not climbing up any ladder.
Well, from the Kelso House's perspective, they don't want anybody climbing on their Kelso House buildings as well. So they have insurance. If they rip something off the side of the building, they have insurance.
So is the-
It does.
I know last year when we did the lights, we did the spotlights because the council didn't want anything to get fixed to the buildings. Are
Well,
they
they're not
comfortable?
gonna fix them to the building. They have clips that go on to the edge.
And Kelso's okay with that?
Yes. The only thing that was different and I'm not a glue guy, but there's a heated glue, Darlene knew all about it. On the arch, there's nowhere to clip anything, so they're gonna use heated glue on the top of the arch, which supposedly peels right off when you get done. But there's nowhere to hang anything on the arch. So that's how they're gonna ease into the arch out there. But yeah, everything he said, there wasn't gonna be any damage to anything with anything they put on. They just have clips that don't have to be, they're not nailed in or they're just clipped.
And then the $4,000, is that just hanging or does that include the lights or are they using our lights?
No, that's the lights. They bring them out, anything goes wrong, they come out and fix them, they come and take them down. So that's the whole process.
Now, are we early enough to get them to do it?
Yeah, that's why I was kind of pushing it on this agenda. I mean, we're getting close to the time where they're starting to get blocked out. He's offering this proposal to us. I don't know if we wait a month, if he's gonna come back and say, I don't have any room to do it now, but he was excited to be a part of it.
What is the game plan then for the ground displays?
I don't know. That's what we need to talk about. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna, you've mentioned the community day in the past. I don't want anybody putting anything on the building, but if we're putting stuff on the ground, we could do that, but we have to figure out what items we're gonna put out. And then,
Well, we can definitely discuss that later. I would just definitely get
Well,
this
that's-
done fast and then.
yeah, because then we can figure out what we're gonna do on the ground. We can have people come in and do that. I don't want anybody, because if they start hanging on the building out there, that becomes a township liability too. Somebody falls off the roof.
Right, I just didn't know if we need to be, first of all, do we need to be having quotes that have the ground displays included in that? Or is that not something that we were?
Well, they don't, Window Genie doesn't do that.
Okay.
I don't know from what extent how difficult those are, if it's just time consuming. Craig, that's probably an answer you can give us.
Time consuming.
Not difficult. The ground display stuff though?
No,
I mean,
it's just time. Time in hands.
Okay.
And did the quote include the fencing? Putting the lights around the fence, or is that just gonna be us doing it?
Yeah, that's us too.
Okay.
The Santa or the walk through there, yeah, that's,
Well, I meant the perimeter fence, remember we wrapped all that?
no, they weren't doing that either.
Okay.
Would they do that?
Probably would. We didn't mention that when we were there.
Well, maybe we can,
But that's an on-ground thing too that we could do. I mean,
well,
that's
maybe before the next meeting, Cassie could maybe check into that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we could just accept this
Did we get a second and third quote for this?
We didn't, we had them come out, to give us a proposal. We did ask, Darlene called the people from last year, and who else? She called another one. There were two other places that she called that did not return a phone call to us. Or to Darlene. Darlene was the one making the phone calls on behalf of the council house over there.
Okay.
But she did contact Elegant Lighting. They didn't return a phone call, and there was somebody else that she had called. They didn't return a phone call either, so.
And I reached out to probably 7 or 8 different companies. I'm waiting for quotes from 2 of them, but a lot of them are saying they're already booked, so.
And what is our total budget this year for the Christmas light show?
Well, we had 10,000 out there is what we had. That's what we've had every year, but we overextended it last year because of the situation, but we've had 10,000 as our budget, so.
So we got 6,000 to play with.
Hope we don't play.
5,600 bucks, yeah.
We got all that ground stuff. Hopefully we can figure out what we already have to not really have to buy.
I thought the plan was to replace some of that, because a lot of it was inflatables.
Well, she has a proposal. Cassie had a proposal from, did you email that to everybody or was it just?
From the last meeting with all the decorations on
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Okay. Did you, that was, we can't buy them all, but maybe we can buy 1 or 2 off from there.
Yeah, I picked a variety to give you an idea of the prices.
I just guess I guess we just need to figure out what we actually have and want to use out there and then where we're missing stuff.
I think that's where we need to map out what we have, and then we can plug in.
Are you able to do a map of the whole, where we're gonna put everything and what we got already? Kind of show what we're missing?
Yeah.
Cause I don't know which parts we wanna get rid of. But we have a few $1,000 to play around with that if we accept this to do the lights that way, so.
Is there any other questions from the board? Okay, the motion's on the floor to enter into a contract with Genie, Window Genie for Christmas light installation at the Kelso House property, not to exceed $4,400.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed. Cassie, do you wanna contact him then and let him know everything's good?
Get on that list.
All right. Next under administration is library. Township took possession of the new property on the 15th. John, I had a couple questions on that. Did we get the electric, water, sewer, all that?
It's in process right now.
Process.
Michelle's working on it.
Can we get a dumpster?
Yes, that's part of it.
Okay, because if we want to start cleaning that out.
No, part of that, what we're doing, we're gonna have to get a dumpster as well.
Okay. The next thing I wanted to ask about, obviously it needs some work on the inside to transform that into the library because of the walls that we talked about. Do we want to bring Charles in and have him do a review and tell us what walls can and can't come down and give us some options to bring back to the board?
Yeah, I'm good with it. So you're gonna make a motion?
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion to contact Charles and have him do an initial review of that property.
I'll second it.
And then do you care if I make that contact? Does somebody else want to make that contact?
I don't know Charles very well. I mean,
I know Charles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind working with him on the project, but it's up to the board.
It's okay, I mean, I'm working with Cassie on the shelter, if you wanna do it.
Okay, I'll reach out to him this week.
Spell his last name again. Is it Charles?
Corcoran.
Corcoran.
Corcoran or something like that. I got his number.
That's it. It is. Didn't want to butcher his name too bad.
We don't need to make a motion for this, do we?
Well, for
Nick to do it.
we're making a motion for Charles to come over and
Right.
give us his recommendation for.
On what options we have. From there, then we can decide how we want to split things up.
Yep, that's good.
Okay, roll call?
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
Next thing on the library is we have all that merchandise in there. All the property that's left over, do we want to start, how do we want to sort that? And then, John, do we do it as a tag sale? Or can we take it down to the auction house?
Oh, boy. Let's see.
I mean,
I don't know how much work John's office wants to do, so if they're selling stuff all weekend.
Well, the first thing I suggest is let Cassie and Aaron get in there and see what they want.
Right.
I mean, maybe you should get in there and decide what you want for the library, but I want to make sure there's a lot of usable stuff for your programming.
And all the crafty stuff we
Yeah.
want.
So when you're done and she's done, maybe we advertise. I mean, we sure don't want to making a lot of money on this if we can sell things cheap.
Well, I know I know of a local daycare that's looking for stuff, and I think Cassie, you said you know of a local daycare.
Yeah.
But I think because it's public, we have to kind of open it up.
We
It's,
do.
it's fair to everybody.
Normally, the way we would have to do is I'd have to put a bid out, but that was one project where they'd have to do a silent bid, but with all those items in there, we should just have a tag sale and have it open certain days, and then they can just.
And whatever's not left, ship it out.
Donate it somewhere, write it off.
Because those rocking chairs are good. Somebody will jump all over those rocking chairs that are in there. Those are
You might
probably
want-
80 to 100 bucks.
You might want to keep the rocking chairs.
There's like 15 of them though, so I don't know how many. Yeah, there's a bunch of them over there, and there's cribs in there. There's a lot of items that a lot of new families will.
Well, I think that's where we need to take some time to organize it, to say, hey, this is what Cassie needs for parks, here's what we might want to keep for the township, get the trash out of there, 'cause there's just a lot of paperwork that just needs to go. But before they can do any construction work, we're gonna have to have the tag sale, so
When do you want to
trying
get
to,
in? When do you want to get in?
I was actually there yesterday walking around and it's set up.
We took the
Have you
key
found
in
it?
there to look.
Yeah, there's stuff we're interested in.
She was supposed to come back though and get any HIPAA protected stuff. I don't know if
she
she.
already did, she said she was in there, it is our possession, doesn't mean she took everything, but she took what she said.
Alright, well,
So if we find anything
We
though,
have
with
to
social
shred it.
security, medical, can we shred it?
yeah, from our protection, we have to take over that now. It's our building. So if
Right.
I have Roy's social security number in there, I have to get rid of it. Or Roy's kid's social security number. I mean, pick on Roy.
Yeah.
So we already talked about that yesterday of separating that stuff and then having, Sue, you're gonna have to be in there and then we have to do a records retention meeting. So that would be with that. Even though they're not our records, but we'll do it the same way that we're gonna dispose confidential information from the library so that we can
How
prove that we
many, how
did.
many little baby cribs do we have in there?
Is there 10 or?
Six or eight.
Yeah, there's a few.
I just suggested maybe our churches would like to update the baby cribs they have in their nurseries and make that available.
Well, we should just get an inventory going of everything in there and get rid of all the trash.
Yeah, get
Because
rid
there's
of
a
all
lot
the
of
trash
trash.
and do shredding.
I'd say the Kent Free Library was successful on their tag sale, and what they did was basically what we're talking about. They inventoried everything. They put some pictures up on Facebook and said, listen, doors will open at 10 a.m. on this day from 10 to 3. What sells, what doesn't, then we're gonna move. But that way, everybody can just show up.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, that's what we should do. That's the only way we get rid of it, because now it's public, it's a township property, so.
Right. But we'll just need multiple hands on deck to help.
Oh, well, my office will have that with Cassie.
So the sooner we get going on this, the better.
Yeah, because it's gonna hold up demo work then.
I did have a question in regards to demo work, though. Are we set on what half we give to the library in the back?
But I think we all need to discuss.
No, I think
that.
that's the first step, is looking at what walls can come down so we can figure that out. The goal was to give them about 75%.
Right.
Anything less than that is gonna affect the programming that they.
No, I mean, we were gonna give them half of that back section, and then the other half was gonna be park and rec. Did it matter what half we gave?
No, as long as it's one of the two back halves,
Right.
just because of flow and checkout, we wouldn't want to take like a front.
I was just, because the doors are issues. The one door from the side that's closest to Pizza Hut comes off the side of the building, right into those shrubs, right into the dumpster from Pizza Hut.
Okay,
And then the
I
other
like
side,
the
it
other
goes
side.
off onto the road. There's kind of a little porch thing that's there, but it goes right to the road. So
Right.
I didn't know if.
I looked at it where we could put a sidewalk from there, because there I thought would be a good room, because we could put a sign so it still says Brimfield Township,
On that
whatever
side of the
room
building,
you're-
but
whatever
the
you're-
library on the front of the building.
whatever you're gonna call it, but I really think you need to weigh in.
Yeah.
On, what works better for you. I don't like the idea of just dumping to that push. And
Right, that's what I was-
That's
yeah, their
dangerous.
big thing was just being able to have the front two rooms
Right.
because of flow for checkout. And they want the walls down only so that they can view for.
They won't
that.
be letting anybody out that back area anyway, so that would be fine if they had that exit.
Well, even if they had to go out the back area, they have the center door that goes to the playground too.
But we would definitely have to put a sidewalk in there and we
I'm
could
just-
figure that thing.
I
out.
was just thinking, and Cassie can make the final pick on it, but that quarter, the side east in the building in the back, that just makes more accessibility to the road that
Southeast.
comes through, the southeast of the building.
Plus
Get to
it's
the
great.
playground, but there's a door there, it goes right to the road, so if we had a day camp mom and dad can pick kids or drop kids off right there on the side of the road. I just think that makes more
Just
functional.
call it Brimfield Town Center Community Room or something.
Well, yeah, whatever it ends up being, I just didn't know if it mattered to the library, what half of that mattered.
Does it matter to you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, you made a good point with the door being by the dumpster. It doesn't matter, like the room sizes and amenities are about the same, so.
Well, and then we're.
And keep in
change
mind,
them around
the
too.
rooms could probably change a little bit, because when we do demo work, I don't know if we need all those sinks,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you want them, that's fine, but that's demo work that can come out, because they can remove the sinks and stuff.
And one less thing to go wrong, you're removing a few things.
Yeah, less
Yeah.
water lines that we
Yeah.
have to worry about.
Okay.
So, and there's some toilets and stuff that have to come out, because there's actually kiddie toilets
I
in
was
there,
gonna say,
so.
the tiny little
I don't
toilet.
think you're gonna fit on one.
So, all right, well, I'll work with Charles, because we really can't do anything until we know what are supporting walls and what aren't in that building.
Yep, no, that's good.
So,
And then just an FYI on that, we can't make a copy of that key. We'd have to go to a locksmith the way it is, because I tried to get keys for it yesterday. So what I think we should do is have Brian install that lock that's up there, the electric lock.
I was thinking about that, we gotta ask Brian though, because I think don't they run off of Wi-Fi?
Yes, they do.
There's no Wi-Fi at that building.
Okay. Well, does the one up front, what does that use right there? Is
This
that-
one does not. This one's battery powered, I believe.
Okay, so if we get at least a battery,
I'd
I just
rather-
wanna make sure we get the right type.
Yeah, because I can only have one key, so I can't. We tried it, Lowe's
Should just
yesterday,
have
make keys.
Have new locks put in?
Well, but if we're gonna get new locks, we need to put new locks, but.
But I think you wait till you do the demo work, because some doors may have to change, like the front door might have to come out.
We can't get.
Maybe I change one of the locks and then get keys to that, because I don't want to lose the one key that we have.
Put on a temporary lock.
Oh, but if we just change the front door,
Why can't we get another key?
because they have to take it to a locksmith to get it, the way that key is, you can't just take it.
They're probably control keys. So realistically, that's how that building should be anyways. We should have a grand master key that the township holds.
Kirsten is working on the key box again, so that we're gonna update all of those, because we have all these new things that are happening, so she's updating that, that was something she was working on this week as well.
Okay.
We'll have a general.
For now, if I have to take Charles over there though, who has the key?
We have
How do
it,
we
it's in
get it?
the safe,
Okay.
in this one. So,
We tried the key on a couple different doors, and the only one I was able to open was the side door on the porch. I don't know if it was
It
just.
works on the front door too, but once you get into the foyer, then you gotta use the passcode, because that door is unlocked, but the mag lock is still working up there.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we did get in that one, but I didn't know what the passcode was, so we just went in that little side door.
So we need to update that or figure out what we're gonna do with that, so maybe in the meantime,
We need,
maybe replace one of the doors.
if
locks
you call a
so we can-
locksmith, those, because they are industrial locks, they should be able to come out with a master key, slide out that cylinder and put a new cylinder in with a key to it.
I just wanted to make sure we had 3 at least, so.
Yeah, but if he does it, then he can give you 4, 5, 10 keys, whatever you want, if he slides a new cylinder in just one of the doors. So you just have to have him come out.
Okay.
John Abracadabra.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So we'll come out and do that for you. They're out of Akron.
Okay, yep, thank you. I'll call them. Kirsten, you hear that?
Any other questions then on the library where we're at? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into zoning and economic development. Mike, the floor is yours, sir.
Thanks, Nick. I've got 2 public hearings. The first one, it was August 11th, the zoning commission voted to have the OR changed to LI. This is pursuant to a request from land leasee. The trustees need to set a public hearing within 30 days from August 11th for this zoning map change. September 7th is our next meeting for trustees, so I don't know if you want to do it prior to that meeting.
September 7th would still put us within 30 days, correct?
Correct.
I would be okay with doing it on the morning of September 7th. I don't know about the rest of the board.
There's 2 meetings. This one will be the longer one. We're going to have people talk at this one.
Okay.
So we'll assume maybe 20 minutes to a half hour for this one. The other public meeting, which I'll talk about next, I don't anticipate anybody to be at that one.
Well, so let's park there for a second.
Trustee meeting.
But are you expecting citizens or
Yes.
do we want to, because he's expecting citizen comment on this, is it better if we do an evening or afternoon instead of a 7 a.m.?
We could do it late, we could do it after the trustee meeting. like at a 10 or a 10.
Well, I'm just worried about people at work, right? You know, they'll come in and have to take a vacation day to talk on this. If there's a
How many do you think we're gonna have?
I mean, we've had roughly 10 at the zoning commission meetings talking on this.
Well, maybe we ask someone that's already here that's gonna come to that meeting.
I would prefer evening. That would be a better turnout and representation of the area.
I mean, typically we do this because we know nobody's showing up, right? But
That's fine.
if we're expecting population, I'll leave it up to the rest of the board, but
We're gonna do like the 6 o'clock or something like that.
hang on, I'll pull up the calendar.
Don't forget, we need to post it in the paper for 10 days too. after
Well, it would
the
have to be the 7th or later, right?
Well, you might be able to get it in that Monday.
Well, I was wondering, could we do it on, well, Monday's Labor Day.
Okay. So
Could we do it on the 6th? That way we could vote it on the 7th in the
Yes.
morning to be within our time.
We
frame.
should have enough time.
So it'd be a Tuesday evening. I don't know what's the,
Six.
potentially, let me see what the other board members.
Let me see here, I'm having a hard time with my stupid phone.
Sue, how's your calendar look on the 6th?
Tuesday's a lot better for me than Wednesday.
Tuesday the 6th.
Yeah, it's better for me too.
So I'm free. Anytime you all want's fine with me on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm good on Tuesday.
Mike, can you make
Yeah,
Tuesday?
that should be good.
Do we want to do 6 PM, 7 PM? How late do we want to go?
6 PM is good with me.
6 PM?
Right, 6 is fine.
Mike, Led, does that work for you?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to hold a public hearing on Tuesday, September 6th at 6 PM for OR change to LI on the west side of Mogador. Need a
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that? Brian, did you hear that? We're gonna have a public hearing, so you have to be here, or somebody here. All right.
Mike, do you think there'll be less people? Most likely.
For the next one?
Yeah.
The next one, I don't anticipate anybody.
So we just want to do it at the same time though, because we're already here. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, if you could do it like, you set it, like close that meeting, open up another public hearing so we keep them separate.
because otherwise we're coming early the next morning.
That's good.
I can-
So we'll do that as a separate motion. So let's do this as the first motion. Can we have a roll call on this one?
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay.
And I'll make a motion.
I could,
Which one is it?
well, so the next one is the zoning commission has voted to remove the PRDs from OC, RR, and R1 zoning districts. Trustees need to set a public hearing within 30 days from August 11th for the zoning change. And then also, the zoning commission is looking at historical district stuff that they'll.
But that's not part of it. That's not part of it. Okay, so I'm making that motion, John.
Second.
So September 6th, you think 30 minutes is long enough?
I think 15 is probably good on that one.
I mean, for the first one.
Well, first one, 30 minutes should be good.
Yeah, so from 6, so the second meeting will be at 6:30.
And that's the, say that again, Mike, which one was that? That was the OCR.
R1 districts.
That's correct.
Okay, all those in favor? Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
So that one, just to give you a brief, we're kind of expedited this. Regional planning actually gave us comments back to hold off and table that PRD section. So we, at regional planning, I flipped everybody there, obviously, because we wanted to remove this PRD out of this, but they want to do language changes for all the townships throughout Portage County. We don't want to wait a year. So we wanted to pursue this. There's a lot of land available, and developers every single day are looking at where they can put housing complexes. This will remove housing out of those 3 zoning districts. So as far as cluster, you can still build a house, but if it's a minimum of 5 acres, then you gotta have 5 acres to build a house. I have a request, board approval to send 2543 Buckeye Boulevard violations to the prosecutor's office for follow-up. There's a letter there that was sent out. That was the second notice of violation. This is chickens within an area that's a PRD. So, and we have the HOA president here as well. We'd like the prosecutor to follow up. I know the prosecutor has sent a letter on our behalf already, but it's been ignored, so.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes,
Motion passed.
And then, lastly, I have Tamarack Ridge, which is the new name. It was formerly Heritage of Brimfield Nursing Home, is working on the interior flooring and finish work. Dirt and all is to be removed by Brimfield Aggregate. So Sue Fields and I have been working on ribbon cutting for this date. You know, we can walk through it. If somebody wants to walk through, I could probably set up something with the attorney for this Saturday morning. Other than that, you might want to see it when the furniture moves in and everything looks good. Right now, it's kind of just bare walls.
Well, when are you gonna go in?
I've been in it several times. If you want to come in.
Well, sometime if you're going, just call me. I got,
Okay.
I got a cater on Saturday, so
Okay.
I'd like to see it. Or maybe wait for the grand opening.
So all the trim work and all the woodwork inside is all custom. They have Amish building each section of it. I think he said it is like a little over $1.5 million just to trim work.
Wow.
So it's pretty.
It'll probably just be as easy just at the grand opening. I'm sure they're gonna let us.
Yeah, they're gonna let us in see
So
the
there's
whole
really
thing.
no
They're
point
gonna
in
have,
doing it twice.
yeah, they're gonna have food. It's gonna be catered.
Oh, Sue will be there.
oh, I'll be there.
Sounds good, Mike.
And that concludes my report.
All right, any questions for zoning? Hearing none, we'll move into road department. David, the floor is yours.
All right. Old business, I don't know, everybody should have got a packet of the sign designs.
I did it.
Can you get one?
It's okay, I got it.
Yeah, here, you can look at this
No, no,
one.
it's okay. I'm good.
But here's the designs with our township colors with it, so.
Aren't the colors a little darker?
Hmm?
Aren't they a little bit darker? No, that's fine. That looks good.
There's 3 different ones they gave put on there, so.
One with the line.
I mean,
underneath.
one's cursive, one's just printed letters, then one's all white with blue lettering. I mean,
Number 2 is pretty.
I like the second one the best. The all white, I just think it's just going to get dirty and
I like the second one better too, the cursive writing to it.
Would you see the color they have the horn?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that horn like maroon or something?
What's that?
The horn they have on there now?
I ain't worried about what they have now.
No, it's sort of like Walsh Jesuit colors.
Oh,
We can change
I don't
that.
worry about Walsh either.
Gold and home. Do you need, I like the second one.
Well, this is,
What about you, Sue?
I like the script, like the script.
No, we just-
Blue is
The bottom of those
white.
posts don't
the
look
white
good.
is just going to get dirty.
Yeah.
The bottom of the posts don't look good.
what's post that?
You know, the ones that are there now.
Oh, everything will be
Yeah,
replaced.
they're.
Yeah, we wouldn't,
like
we
a
wouldn't,
good- A good wind's gonna.
well, that'll get the sign moving faster. The cost of it's still the same as the other designs we brought in. It'd be, $825 a side, so $1650 for both sides for the sign. I mean, this is what they came up with at this point. I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to move forward with this or,
Well, all I know is that those posts are looking bad. So, I mean, you wanna get them and then just start doing it in the spring.
well, that's kind of what we discussed at the last meeting. We could actually maybe buy the signs and stuff and let it go for right now. And then,
If you have time
Next
to fall
spring,
or in the spring,
yeah.
whenever you have some downtime, get it. put in.
yeah, put it up, the new one, plus do some of the work on the bushes over there and all that stuff, so.
Yeah,
John, do we have a funding line for this year?
In roads, we do, yeah.
But
well, I'll make a motion that we approve the number 2 design. And,
Second.
Yep. And, the cost not to exceed, was it $825 a side, so that's,
$1650,
$1650,
$1,700 or something easy.
$1,700.
Motion and a second, comments on that? Dave, do you think it'd be all right if we set a deadline date for installation, just so when they call us, we can say, hey, it'll be up by June 1st of next year, or July 1st, whatever you're comfortable with, but so we can set a deadline for it?
I mean, yeah, we could set a deadline for it. I mean, I'd say June 1st, because if I order to sign now, I should have it sometime within the next month, you would think.
Right.
So.
That gives you the spring to work on it.
I just hate deadlines. I mean, if they know we have the sign, wouldn't that be enough for them? Yeah, I don't know.
And they've been asking for a while, so I think it just.
I just put a June 1st on it. I mean, it's easy.
Okay.
I mean, if anything, we'll just lean against a couple cardboard boxes until we get it put up.
Only you.
All right, so we're gonna go with the number 2.
Number 2 and then June 1st.
What are you gonna do with the old sign?
Bonfire.
Somebody might want it.
Well, I mean, that's, if somebody wants it, that's fine. I don't, in all honesty, I don't have no use for it.
Right.
So. Okay, that's
We
about
got
it.
a roll
All
call
those in
vote.
favor? Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Alrighty, I'll let graphic detail, let them know and they can get started on that. Let's see, right now I've been working on getting quotes for the paving locations of the Kelso House, Community Center, Library, Police Department, Cemetery. Still working on that. I have a meeting with S&K after I get done here. We've been out road mowing, boom mowing, pushing some of the trees and bushes back with the boom mower. Actually really did a nice job out Sunnybrook Road. We really cleaned one curve up nice. We started crack sealing again today. We're actually out crack sealing right now. We've been doing some asphalt patching. Let the board know, Don Lutz started yesterday. Our new hire, everything passed with all the good stuff. So he's on board, working out fine so far for one day. We put in a test yesterday. Right now, Sunnybrook Road is still closed today as they're finishing the board job for us, putting a pipe in over there. So they should have that in sometime, hopefully by this afternoon. Then I need some board approvals. I need the board to accept Barbados Construction Company Inc.'s bid for the 2022 Cascade Resurfacing Project at $272,045.
Okay, I'm gonna make that motion.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
What's the estimated start time on that?
We're still working on all that yet. We haven't even got the pre-con set up for that one yet. So
Will it be
we're
this year?
gonna work, we're trying to work fast with it. So,
Do you think they'll get it in this year?
oh yeah, they're looking to get it this year too. So I can't swear by anything if all Mother Nature turns nasty all of a sudden, but
Right.
yeah, everything's still shooting for this year. Then I need the board a resolution to authorize Portage County engineers to use prepaid funds for Cascade Inspection 2 from the Butternut Ridge QCI funds that we sent over for inspection fees. The engineers feel that they can do both jobs with the same amount of funding with the funds that we okayed for QCI to do the Butternut Ridge project. We should have funds left over, then they could just use the same funds for Cascade paving project.
Let me see what you did this way, right? Authorizing Portage County engineers to use prepaid funds for Cascade's inspections. Yeah, I guess that's how we need to put it. Move to approve authorization of Portage County engineers to use prepaid funds from Project Butternut Ridge to Project Cascades for inspections. Cost will not exceed $16,299.78.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. And then if there's overruns, then they'll come back to us for additional. Is that how that
Yes.
works? Okay.
But by their feeling is we should be all right.
Okay.
Then plus we can take some of that funds with the OPWC project, put engineer fund, get some back from that too, so.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, and other than that, that concludes my report.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, any questions for the road department? All right, hearing none, we'll move into Parks and Rec. Cassie, floor is yours.
All right, first item was, update on the Christmas lights. We already discussed the quote from Window GD. But Dave wanted to discuss, the Blue Gator ground protection lights. He was looking at purchasing used for that.
Is that what that is? Or-
Yeah, what it is, I was looking into these to begin with for the cemetery. Here's a little bit of information on them. That's a piece of what the board would look like. It's a 4x8 sheet of
That's great.
plastic. What we're looking at, I was looking at buying some anyway to put down for when we're doing work in the cemetery. We don't tear things up in the winter, fall, spring.
That's great.
The mats will handle 80 ton of pressure. We're looking at wanting mats for, say, underneath the Christmas arch or walkway. So say we bought 10 of them, we can make an 80-foot path, and that won't sink in the mud and stuff. And it's guaranteed for 10 years and such like that. So
How does it hold up in the weather though, from
Oh,
traction?
oh,
You know what I mean?
it'll
We're
hold
getting
up.
snow and stuff on here. Are we still gonna slip or is?
no, what it is you got an aggressive side, which
Okay.
we would use the aggressive side for our side of stuff. Then you have the smooth side where actually you could use for walking, or you could flip it over and have the aggressive side up for ice, snow, that stuff for people walking on. It's not really sticky, so you could probably take a leaf blower down through there if there's snow on it and blow it off for the people to walk on.
Okay.
Is it gonna get scratched up? Probably, with the equipment running on it. But
Yeah, I was more worried about just the traction, the coefficient, the friction there.
no, you should be able to have pretty good traction.
Is it worth getting a few more so where Santa Claus usually is? I mean, that was a freaking mud pit.
Well, they're, just to let you know, they're $250 a board per 4x8 sheet. We were looking at buying 10 of them and trying them out at the cemetery plus that. If you want to get a few more, we can get a few more.
What's the lead time on this?
They have them in stock right now.
I just remember how bad it was. I mean, what do you think, John?
Well, I agree that we need those over there. Were we thinking 10?
We were thinking 10, which would give you an 80-foot path.
Well, I think once we have Cassie draw the map, we would know how many we needed anyways, because then we could measure that off with
Sure.
a rolling stick, right? And then we'll know what distance, and that would determine how many of the boards we needed to make that project work.
These would be a dual purpose thing. Because
Right.
we can,
Or either
what
some-
happens is we use plywood now at the cemetery to drive on, and most of the time, once you start getting a little bit bad weather, plywood flexes, breaks, you're buying a new piece. So if this happens to flex break, I call them to replace it.
Why don't we do this? Because 10 of them is $2,500. Anything under 5,000 I can write. So why don't we figure out what that is? And then not gonna be over $5,000. So we'll buy whatever that path amount is to cover all that.
Yeah.
But why don't we figure that out and then
Where are you walking?
we
to?
order?
To the Same
From-
barn?
Yeah, from the barn to through the
Arches.
arches.
Well, we
Yeah.
might have to reconfigure some of it.
Right.
So,
If you actually measured from the barn and did a loop all the way to the arch out there in the front, it would be no more than that.
Okay.
And then we can just figure out, and then we'll just reorder them after that. You guys are okay with ordering them that way? Sue, you good with that process? Okay.
I think, I would just say, just measure it off. just so we
The
have-
nice thing with these is they won't sink in the mud.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're
No,
not
and
gonna
there's
have.
other projects you could use them for.
Right. And then, it's just not, we're just buying them for the
can we
Christmas.
lay extension cords underneath them?
Well, I don't know. You probably could, to a point.
Yeah. You have a place to store them?
Down cemetery. Yeah, because we'd be using them there too, so.
That's great.
So when you have a wintertime burial,
Right,
you could put those out for the people to stand on instead of stinking in the mud.
right. Well, we don't, I hate to say it this way, we don't really, that's part of the, vault company's thing to do that.
Yeah.
Our biggest problem is getting in with machines and dump trucks to dig
Yeah, I see
out
that.
the grave. So that's why these can withstand 80 ton of board. So,
Okay. I like that.
so
Good
the
deal.
pressure should be good on them, so.
It's good.
I mean, this is, and just to let you know, this is the only color they have that Tucker does have. So, I mean, we could, if you wanted to order like black or something, it may, I don't know when that might come in, but this is what they have in stock because that's kind of their company's color.
Well, you'll be saving money not having to buy all the plywood.
Right. In the long run, after so many years, you'll get your money back.
Plywood so much anyhow.
Well, and tearing up the ground over the cemetery now every time they're digging. Plus making our event at the cemetery night or the council house nicer, because that was a mess at the end of the year.
I mean, you can use these as other things. I mean, say like, I know Roy does his thing on asphalt, but like his safety school. Say if you had you could stack them in a big square, put some out in the grass without tearing up the church. You know, that kind of stuff. So it's not that they just need to be for the lights in the cemetery. We could use them throughout the town. They're 81 pounds of board, but they have handles and rope ties where you can tie them a rope where we can pick them right up at the mini and set them where we want them. So
That's great.
So that it'll save us money in the long run. So we want to do a measure
Just figure out.
from the
how many
arcs.
you need, and just let me know and we'll get a purchase order and we'll get going.
Okay.
Brimfest update for food vendors. We currently have 10 food vendors signed up, so very happy about that. We have, of course, the fire department and the police department doing sausage sandwiches and hot dogs.
Are you looking for any more?
Huh?
I had a guy send me an email. Are you looking for any more? Are you good?
I think we're pretty good.
Okay.
I always like to have more than I think we'll need because you never know what's going to happen at the last minute. But we have Dippin' Dots. We have 2 concession trailers. We have Kona Ice. They were at Tetra Truck. They were very successful. We have Honey Girl Donuts. She's local. I'm just going to bring donuts. So I'm excited for that. Big D's and Tahini Mediterranean will be coming back this year. And then we have Southern Things, which is Southern fried food. So good variety. And then we are still taking applications for vendor tables. I put the deadline September, I think I put Monday the 5th, but that's Labor Day, so Tuesday the 6th. We'll keep it open after that, but usually we start to get the majority of our signups about this time. We like to wait till the last minute. So we have about 15 vendors signed up now. So hopefully we'll get a few more before the deadline. The next item is the loop trail at Lions Park. We are looking at getting some signage for that, and I wanted to propose a name for the loop trail. I would like to name it Bluebird Loop. I don't know if I need board approval for that, but I wanted to name it that because if you walk on that trail, you see lots of bluebirds. We have the bluebird houses there, and I just thought,
That's a great
catchy
name.
name.
Do we need to make a motion? I don't think so.
Okay.
No, that's a part of
That's for racetrack.
That's great. I like that.
Okay. Update on the electric for the pavilions. I was hoping I'd have my quotes all back for you, but I got 1 quote from Ott Electric so far. I'm still waiting to hear back from Dennison and from Thompson Electric. I got quotes for the Honeychuck Pavilion, which was in my budget this year, but I'm also getting quotes for the Carter just to see what it would cost. If it'd be worthwhile to do it all at once or for future planning. So I will have those for you at our next meeting. And the Cranberry Creek Pavilion is all hooked up. We are just waiting for the meter to be turned on. So as soon as they come out and do that, it will finally be done.
That's great.
Been working on that. Nancy helped me start working on that. So it's been a while since that project started. So past programs on the 13th, Saturday the 13th, we had our Pokemon Go community event. I unfortunately was sick and was unable to attend. However, Erin said we got about 20 people for that event. Lots of people playing Pokemon Go still in our park, so I was happy to tap that audience.
Pokemon Go is brilliant. They're running through the woods with their phone looking for imaginary Pokemon.
Yeah. So little explanation. So the game, it randomly puts, they're called Pokestops, and it's areas where you can collect items in the game. It just so happens that for whatever reason, they put a lot of Pokestops at our park here. So if you ever hang out in the park, sometimes you'll see people drive in, hang out for a second, and drive out. That's what they're doing. So there was a concert one night, and I saw a lot of people doing that and asked if there was a community that played, and they said, yeah, there's lots of people that come, so we held an event, and they came, and they said they'll come back again, so.
Oh, that's great.
We might do that again in the future.
Wow.
On the 19th, we had the Twisted Whiskers concert. Erin said that went very well as well. I think she said we had about 40 people. Is that right, Sue?
Yep.
Good.
It's good.
And unfortunately, I had to cancel my Monarch Butterfly program because I was out sick all last week, so. And then upcoming programs on Tuesday, the 29th, we finally will have our senior walk. I tried to schedule that the last couple months, but the trail, the whole point of the walk is to walk on the asphalt loop trail, and it kept getting delayed. So that'll be on the 29th at 9 a.m. Just a nice casual stroll around the loop trail.
And I had a couple that came to eat after their walk there. They loved it.
Nice, yeah.
They were early in the morning.
It's gonna be the 29th at 9 a.m.
That's great.
Yeah, we're gonna have some snacks too.
They loved how smooth it was.
You've gotta have snacks. I've seen a lot of people out there I've seen runners, walkers, Dave stopped me after the last meeting to tell me that, there was a mom and her pushing a stroller out there, so.
With bicycles,
Yeah,
then.
Are you working on signage then?
Yes, yeah, so I'm
Because
gonna
it's
get.
about a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, so we're gonna put and Dave already put some dog waste stations up there as well, so.
That's
So
good.
shaping up, happy to see that. On the 1st, is our last concert in the park for the year. It's gonna be, Chuck Piper will be there from 6 to 7:30. And then, of course, the 16th and 17th is Brimfest already, so one more trustee meeting before Brimfest. And, one more thing I didn't put on my report, just informational. Tomorrow I will be at the Portage County Township Association booth at, the fair from 1 to 5.
Great.
Oh, that sausage.
I would bring Dave's
Okay.
sausage.
And I had bad sausage yesterday.
So did I.
It's expensive, yeah.
$9. Yeah.
$8 to get in.
Oh, we did do the fair board again too. We made a nice new fair board. We got a nice display
I did, I looked
case.
at it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go in there and check them out, all the ones, if you get real bored.
Well, that's where she's gonna be.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
working inside the
You're
tent.
in the tent. Okay,
Yes.
you'll see.
Nelson Township.
Oh, I thought you were in that big table where all Portage County has all their stuff.
I'll have to call Nelson Township and see who did theirs because it's very nice. It's like hand carved and very nice. Not
She
as good as our Amazon. one.
She was there last night.
Oh, she was?
She's one of the trustees, I can't remember her name, but she was actually running the booth last night. That was who did it. So if you look on
There was no one in there.
the
last
female
night.
trust, she was supposed to be there from
I
6
was
to
gonna turn
9.
them all upside down,
So if you went in there between 6 and 9.
but I was
she
going
supposed to be
Brimfield straight up. So
It's much better than our cork board. Aaron did a really nice job laying it out.
I like the things. You can lock it and everything. And,
Yes, very, very nice.
okay.
Yeah.
Then we have the other thing, okay, I'm gonna make a motion. I've reviewed her contract. I hope everyone has reviewed it. And, I just want to get this put to bed. So I'm making a motion that we accept, Cassie's employment contract agreement. Just need a second.
Second for discussion.
No, go ahead, Norm.
I couldn't
John,
find the key in there.
so number 10,
Thank you.
personal days, second sentence before the word trustee liaison.
I just looked to it, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it was easy. That's okay. All the stuff you look at.
Do you see it?
I had it underlined.
Number 10,
Right?
second sentence under number 10. This agreement period, the park director will give his trustee liaison. Under personal days.
Right here, John.
We have 2 10s too. Didn't see that.
Yeah. So all the numbering is off by one also. That was next on my list.
So we'll just make changes and.
I will update the following just so we have it correct out there.
For clarification to you, John, Under compensation, we're keeping her at the current, is this the current compensation she's at per year?
Yes,
So there's been no increase in this contract until January.
correct.
Okay. And then all the contracts are all over the place on this, so I wanted to see what we were doing with it under sick time. Carryover hours, hers is a max of 2,000. Craig's is silent. Dave's, I think, says 2,500.
So does Roy's.
Yeah, Roy's, we moved down to 2,000. It was at
Well,
2,500.
we moved it, no, did we move it down to 2,000?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay.
It's all over the place. So I just bring it to attention of, I mean, that's
So-
how contracts are. I mean, it's all about your negotiation.
They're both at 2,000. We're gonna be talking about Dave's here in a little bit, so I can adjust that.
Okay.
I mean, as a standard, we'll just keep 2,000 across the board as a max. And then as those come up, since Craig doesn't even have it mentioned in there, we'll have to put it in his when it comes around, or at least an amount. I would leave as is here, and then we'll just adjust future ones down the road to make sure. Because unfortunately, nothing against Craig at all, but we don't want to have an unlimited. I mean, if he's here for 40 years and you only 7 years of sick time, I mean, that's a
Right.
lot of.
Yeah, I was just looking at those pieces. Because I know that the plan behind this was for consistency in the
Yes.
township. Are we close on the other contract then for IT?
No, because actually, we have to meet again. Brian was sick the
Okay,
day we were supposed to meet, and then we haven't had a chance to reschedule it yet. So we were supposed to meet last week. But,
I
we're gonna
guess,
get back on the schedule again, and we'll hopefully have it by next meeting.
okay.
We
And I
would
guess,
have had it
my-
this meeting if we would have met, but we had
Okay.
it be there.
I just want to make sure we're on track with that. And I guess my last comment just to the board is, as a newer board member here, why do we do employment contracts? It came up in some conversations with some other elected officials. Are all townships doing contracts? Is it just something that we've done here? Is it something that we need to look at maybe trying to phase out in the coming years and transition to not having employee contracts? I just, looking at the benefit to them.
I know my feeling is, one trustee is that it protects great employees from bad trustees and bad boards. So, the reason I got into it was how quick one group of trustees tried to railroad a police chief. And if we had had a contract in place, they would not have railroaded them, and I wouldn't be in politics. So that's my thing, is just to protect, at times we have good boards, at times we have bad boards. And I hate personal agendas in any board, and we need to, I am 100% behind our employees, and all of us are not gonna be here forever. I want to protect them the best they can.
Yeah, I'm just
If
looking
they've
for,
screwed up somewhere, they can be taken out of the contract, but I think it's important that we protect our employees. They're our number one asset, period.
I was just looking at to see if, from an industry best practice, what was happening in other communities. So just something for the board to consider.
And ever since I've been here, Nick, it's just the process that we've done. And
Right.
I was just following what's been out there. That's
Yeah,
what
but that's why I like to ask the question though. I mean, the answer is, well, that's what we've always done. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's not the best answer.
Sure, but that's mine from it. I mean, that's what we've had, which we've had ever since I've been here. So it's just been a renewal contract. All right, so we need to vote. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed. And this will take effect 9/1.
9/1?
9/1 of 22 and go through August 31st of 27.
I'll be, I'm
Not gonna worry about that then.
Anything else under Parks and Rec?
When I was driving into the park the other day looking at it, do you have any thoughts on that new property we bought to the right of the driveway?
Yeah.
You said there's some wild trees or something in there?
Yeah, there's lots of good habitat over there. I was actually gonna talk to Dave about it because, no. No, it's because I know Dave has future plans to expand his shop, so I was kind of thinking he could maybe take over that side of the park, and I can sort of move the trail things to the other side to get out of his way. So unless you want me to stay in your way. But it's probably a good thing to start looking at in the winter and early spring, because it's pretty overgrown there, so it'd be easy to put out, plot out a trail that way too.
Well, what was the kind of tree you said that was, some nice trees you said, or?
The ones on the property line there.
Oh, those are
I
the
love
ones you're
those.
talking-
Those are the catalpas. Those are very nice trees. But then once you get past the tree line, there's a lot of good pollinator habitat, lots of milkweed and butterfly weed and things like that. So keep a lot of that, but also cut a trail through. You wouldn't want to do a whole lot over there, but
Right.
I'd like to see some beautiful colored wildflowers.
yes. Oh, it's great. You have to kind of stomp
Luminous.
back there now, but it's really nice back there.
Is it?
Yeah, you make it past the tree line and then it just kind of opens up then.
Really? So it's fairly large, it seems large?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just FYI on that, I will make those changes and then resend out the contract with the signature page on it, so you guys can have a corrected one with the numbers corrected and the Hayes switch to her. That's all right with you guys? All right.
I don't know if this was under parks or if it should have been under admin, but I was thinking about this weekend. Pumpkin is out, so have we set a Halloween date for the township? Because I'm sure the questions will be coming.
I don't think we did yet.
Dunkin's selling pumpkin donuts now, so whether or not it's here.
I
They
just
were
ordered,
out pumpkin when I went, so,
Are you still thinking of that pumpkin roll?
yes.
Dave's a professional with that.
Dave's supplying the pumpkins, very condo.
Well, the trustees and fiscal officers are gonna be at the bottom of the hill. Walking.
Halloween's the 31st.
Which is a Monday
Not
this
sure,
year.
it is the 31st, yes, it's Monday. So, did,
When will all the subdivisions be holding it?
It
is
varies.
it the 29th?
I know my subdivision does it on Halloween, which is rough on Monday night. I mean, community, people usually want to be out on the weekends, I think, in my opinion.
So we have to say trick or treat as well.
I just don't know when the Kent State thing's happening and when Suffield's doing any of their stuff too.
I think the last few years, we used to do it on Sunday, and then the last 2 years, I think we moved it to that Saturday.
I think people like the Saturday.
Are we talking Halloween or are we talking your fall
Trick or
festival?
treat.
Trick or
My
treat. Yeah,
fall-
trick, so we're talking about trick or treat.
Yes, my fall festival will be the 22nd, the week before.
Okay.
My opinion is that I like Saturdays just because if I got kids and then we go trick or treating at 8 p.m. they eat a bunch of candy, they don't get to bed, and then we got to go to school the next morning, and it's
Yeah.
a disaster.
Well, that's good. So you're making that motion?
So yeah, I'll make the motion to set Brimfield trick or treat on Saturday, October 29th.
I'll second it.
And
Any
what,
other questions?
what time? Because we usually try to mix it half in light and dark.
I think we
Doesn't
do,
5 to 7 get us an hour of light and an hour of dark?
I was gonna say,
Do we do 5 to 7 or 6 to 8?
I can't remember, I can look back.
See, what time does the sun go down?
10:29.
6:22. So 6:30 the sun starts going down.
We've done, it looks like in 2020, we did 5 to 7.
It's always fun. I mean, we had a big fire out in our driveway. and it's
That's what we
fun.
do too. Everybody does bonfires and
Yeah.
stuff.
So 6 till,
6 to 8?
sounds good.
On Saturday night, I mean, that's fun.
What, 6 to 8?
Yeah, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Sounds good.
10:29, 6 to 8.
And just FYI for our fall event, we will be doing trunk or treat again, which will be on the 22nd, which was a big hit last year too, so.
Okay, on trick or treat, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed. October 29th at 6 to 8. Just from a perspective on that, I mean, it's everybody, the allotment separate Halloween things they have are probably gonna be that exact same time. So we might have, is that when, did you guys already decide yours?
Now, we were waiting for you guys to decide.
Okay.
That's when we'll have ours.
Okay.
But I know our allotment has a separate one, and it's probably usually the Saturday before Halloween, and it's usually 6 to 8, so they're probably all gonna run together.
Yep.
Which is good, I guess.
All right.
I had one other, a lady asked me, I are you doing the Christmas lighting contest? Because she wanted to get lights early.
Yes, we are doing Christmas.
So maybe if someone wants to put a post.
Yep.
I didn't think about it, but she said Christmas lights are starting to come out some places, which I can't believe, but.
Yeah.
Halloween stuff.
Todd Peets mentioned it, the Portage County Township Association, and
Yes.
was trying to get other townships involved, so.
Yeah, we
We'll see how it
had,
goes.
I met with him 2 weeks ago, and he's working on there were some hiccups with the online voting, the, regional planning was gonna do that for us last year, and something happened with it, didn't get done the right way, so we're doing it again this year, and they've got it all handled on there, and so we're gonna coordinate. The last thing we need is we're trying to figure out, when we want registration to open and close, and how long we want the contest to go. I know there was some feedback last year, they wish the contest went longer, they get longer to vote, so we're just trying to think of, what would be the best way to do that, so.
She told me that she thought it didn't go long enough. That she was rambling, but she thought it didn't go long enough for people to vote.
I think we're gonna extend it through probably January 2nd this year, so you can do it all the way through. Because that week of Christmas and New Year's, you probably wanna drive around and look, so.
Yeah.
I think that we were pushing the time because remember we had to take it from our competition to the other cities' competition, so there was compressed timeline to make that all happen.
That's another component that we're working on, whether we're gonna do the regional competition again, or if we're just gonna go up against one other city or township, so that's another piece we're gonna work on, so.
It'd be neat to just go up, my thought is just locals.
Yeah.
Local, Suffield, Rootstown.
Yeah.
Can't any of that. Yeah, they said it was amazing how many cars drove by.
Yeah,
It's fun. Gives you something to do.
Yeah, we did it.
Aaron and I went out and took pictures, and it was fun.
Fall harvest.
Any food?
I think it's 4 to 9. 'Cause we didn't really-
Oh, that's right, okay.
That's October 22nd, correct?
Yes,
Did you get the movie set yet?
not yet, we haven't picked it
Joe Dirt.
Cassie, what are the hours of that event going to be?
For the Fall Harvest Festival, so the entire festival is gonna be from 4 to 9. I believe Trunk or Treat is gonna be from,
That's the thing.
let me get back to you on that, I think it's gonna be 4:30 to 6.
We have
Either
a-
4:30 to 6 or 4:30 to 6:30.
There were a boatload of people there last year. They were parking out on Edson Road. I mean, there were that many people there.
All credit goes to Rochelle for that, she said, have you thought about doing a Trunk or Treat? And
There were so many people there. I bet you we had 500 people that were there
yes.
at that.
I didn't run out of candy.
I did.
I was good.
Yeah,
We didn't know they keep coming. We're like, geez,
What day was
kids
it?
coming through. The 22nd, the Saturday.
and any departments are welcome to come and hand out candy if you know anybody, any organizations or businesses that would want to come, everybody's welcome, so.
All right, anything else for Parks and Rec?
When are you talking about the pumpkin roll thing, or when's that?
That's gonna be November
Okay.
6th.
That's not during these events, I'm just
No.
trying to, okay.
No, that's gonna be after Halloween, because the idea is to take the old pumpkins.
November,
6th, I believe, is that the Sunday?
see what I can do about pumpkins.
Okay.
What time
My
is that?
calendar says that on
We have it
November
down.
the 6th, daylight saving time ends. So
So we're just.
we'll
putting
still
the
be
time
okay
out.
that day.
Yes, time TBD.
Yeah, I would say afternoon-ish,
Yeah,
because you gotta work around the church crowds,
yes, yeah,
so, okay.
Oh, that's a Sunday?
yes.
Oh, I don't work Sundays.
Neither do I.
All right, anything else? All right, then we'll move into cemetery. We have no business listed. Is there anything on cemetery?
We had a deed. Did everybody sign the deed?
Yeah, the deeds are signed, they're right here.
I'm really pleased to see that people are becoming aware of the columbarium. That Rochelle had a couple of those come in. too.
Oh, just an FYI too, they pressure washed the columbarium, they're gonna put a seal coat on that again. So,
Okay.
that's happening right now too. On the concrete, they needed another seal coat.
Were they doing it yesterday or that
They
day?
pressure washed it yesterday, so they'll let it dry and then they'll put the seal coat on maybe today.
And then that moves us into fiscal. John, any updates before we get into the township vehicle 8.4 policy?
Okay, Chris sent over the actual policy and
Yeah, so I read the old language, the new language that's in there, and then there's what's in the motion book, and you'll see that they're all three different.
like. Well, let me read what's in there right now. This is what I thought it was supposed to be. I'll just read the whole thing. Employees operating township vehicles are required to have a proper and valid motor vehicle license in accordance with the type of vehicle the employee operates. Employees authorized to use township vehicles may use the vehicles to transport family members to destinations that are incidental to the employee traveling to and from work. Any other use wherein a family member is a passenger must be authorized by permission from the Board of Trustees. That's what's in there
That's what
in the employee handbook right now.
The motion that was passed from 2022-222, the verbiage reads differently.
Let me pull this out here. It was written.
Yep, it's 2022- motion number 222, 3 twos.
Motions, get rid of their motion and pass it on.
But I always didn't pass one. Seafield's moved to approve the verbiage for township employee company vehicle policy for insertion into the employee handbook effective 7/27/22. Verbiage reads, use of township motor vehicles shall be controlled and restricted to township purposes only. Employees who operate township vehicles or other motorized equipment are required to have proper and valid motor license, vehicle or motor vehicle operator's license, and or if applicable, commercial driver's license with appropriate endorsements. The employee shall not use or permit the use of township vehicles for any purposes other than official businesses. Employees shall not permit family members or friends to operate any township vehicles unless specifically authorized. In addition, employees shall not permit family members to ride in township vehicles with authorization. So
Without authorization.
right. That's what we put in there to clarify it. So then if we pass,
If you pass a new motion, it'll eliminate motion 222. It will update the policy.
So I think under Greg Beck's advice, I'm gonna make a motion that'll supersede that motion
Right.
for the one you just read. That way everything will be straight.
right. So again, just so this is what it's gonna be, I'm gonna skip that vehicle, the license portion. This is the change that was in there. Employees authorized to use township vehicles may use those vehicles to transport family members to destinations that are incidental to the employees traveling to or from work. Any other use wherein a family member is a passenger must be authorized with permission from the Board of Trustees. That's what you want that to be.
That's a Greg Beck.
Okay. Somebody want to second that?
Second.
So for discussion, my concern with that policy is it just contradicts what came from our risk management firm, who says one of my least favorite things as a risk manager for a public entity is when non-township staff rides in the township-owned vehicles. The best practice recommendation I can provide is not to allow family members or the public to drive or ride as passengers in township-owned vehicles.
Okay. Any other comments at all?
I mean, Greg Beck's our insurance, and he represents townships, and he saw no issue with it, so I'm erring to the side of Greg Beck, our attorney.
Okay, on a vote, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
No.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed. All right, so we don't have to change anything now, it's already in the handbook, and
So now you have to get signature update on the handbook.
Roy sent
Because
that
there's
out
no
already
policy
to the
change.
affected 7 township vehicles.
Yeah, I was just waiting on your feedback on that, so
Yeah.
if there are no changes that are gonna come to that, then I can leave that as, if you guys wanted to make the change, we could add it to
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, you already sent it out, so we're good with that. So it went out to every.
But if it's a policy change, does everybody need to sign it? That would be the question to HR tomorrow, because it's officially a HR employee handbook. And you're changing the handbook, therefore, I think you need all employee signatures. Even though it doesn't pertain to them per se, it's a policy update, and you're updating them on the policy change. So I think that's a question that should be
I'll
posed
ask,
to
I'll
HR.
ask Holly if that's the case. Because, yeah, we just sent it out to the 7 affected
Right,
township.
but it isn't a policy for them, it's a township-wide policy, so the question.
I'll ask Holly, and I'll let you guys know. And if we do, then I'll have Roy send it out to everybody.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. Anything else under fiscal?
No.
All right. Any executive sessions today?
And I know.
Okay, and for the good of Brimfield Township, we'll open up the floor to public comments and or questions.
Just for clarification, just to make sure, that zoning meeting is September 6th, Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Correct. And it will be here in this room here.
Very good. And just a question in regards to what you guys were just talking about. Does that extend your liability, allowing other people besides employees of the township riding in those vehicles? Because then I think you're opening yourself up to, is it going to be a personal injury case or is it going to be a workers' comp?
That's why I called Greg back. He's our township attorney and he represents Otarma, who's our insurance carrier. And that was the language he got for us.
So you guys did your due
Yep.
diligence on that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's some contradiction that exists there though, because our risk management consultant says, well, it's not best practice. So that was my reason for my no vote on that.
Okay, thank you.
And this doesn't mean, they're gonna be driving to Cedar Point. This means if it's on the way and it doesn't cost extra money for the township, it's,
Well, I'd like to point out too, we have a precedent set for years. And to take that away from our department heads of what they've been able to have all these years, I really have a problem in taking something away that you've had in place, because that creates more mushrooms for you to deal with. And I think we did the right thing.
But we had to fix it because we were in direct violation of our current HR policy. We were, as a board, not following the
Then you
policy.
need to update your book.
Yeah, and that's what we did,
Yeah,
which is to
we're all good with
clarify.
that now, right? Yeah, because Nick did bring up a good point last week, or 2 weeks ago, that we had 2 separate answers, and one was yes, and one was no. So now that has been corrected, we have the same answer in the book and in the resolution, so.
So this would just be driving 5 miles or something like that, just a short visit?
It's within the course of their travel to and from their home, if they had to drop off somewhere, if they had a family member.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna make a motion, we close this meeting?
All right, I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue.
Yes.
Okay, we are closed at 9:28.
I talked to Thomas.
Yeah.
Or-